Cousin's camping trip. My cousin Cody and I were pretty adventurous in our early 20s. We loved seeking out new hiking trails and remote campsites to conquer. So when Cody discovered Uravan Forest in Colorado, with whispers of abandoned mines and ghost towns shrouded deep within the pine woods, we knew we had to check it out. We took advantage of a free weekday and loaded up my SUV. The drive took us past crumbling homesteads from the 1800s gold rush, surrounded by aspens trembling in the mountain breeze. An odd quietness permeated the deeper we went along dusty backroads. We encountered not a single other car. By late afternoon we arrived at the trailhead, the sun already sinking behind the towering pines. We trekked into the sea of trees, scanning for a prime spot to pitch our tents as darkness descended. About a mile in, we found a clearing cradled by the forest, with evidence of old campfires signaling this as a safe place to stay. As Cody built up a new fire, I set up our gear, including a tiny portable speaker. We cracked open beers from the cooler and soon steaks sizzled over the flames. Out here, the stars seemed close enough to pluck from the sky. We laughed over memories from past adventures in the wilderness together. After midnight, halfway into a friendly game of cards, we heard the first disturbances. Low, tuneless humming drifted from the woods, followed by the snap of branches underfoot. We killed the music and doused our fire, tense and alert. The noises faded, then picked up again from another direction, closer this time. It sounded too big to be a forest creature. "Probably just some dumb local kids trying to mess with us," Cody said, his eyes betraying his confidence with a flicker of fear. Exhausted, I eventually retreated to my tent while Cody stood watch. I tossed and turned, straining over every tiny sound. Sometime before dawn I woke, blinking slowly. The silhouette of a head hovered at the opening of my tent. "Cody?" I whispered. No answer. As my eyes adjusted, I made out greasy hair, skin smeared with dirt. The face broke into a grin, revealing black and rotten teeth. I screamed. The figure scurried back as I scrambled out of my tent. Cody slept soundly in his own tent still. Someone had been out there, watching us, toying with us. I shook Cody awake in a panic. We clung to our only protection, cans of bear spray, remaining frozen in wakefulness until morning light returned. As soon as the first rays peeked through the trees, we bolted from that place. Even now, when I go camping, I get the prickly feeling on my neck of unseen eyes watching me from the tree line. I'll never know who came to our camp that night, or why they seemed to delight so much in stalking us. But the memory will haunt me forever. Rented beach house. In desperate need of a guy's weekend after a rough semester, my college buddies Travis, John, Liam and I rented a modest beach house in Florida. The online photos depicted a cozy bungalow directly on the sand, perfect for non-stop chill vibes. When we pulled into the driveway, the place seemed even more flawless than advertised. No neighbors blocked the scenic panorama of crashing waves on three sides of the house. We claimed bedrooms and in no time had a game of beach football going as the sun set fire to the sea. Finally exhausted, we headed into town for dinner and drinks. We stumbled back after midnight, pleasantly buzzed. Still restless, we cracked open a few more IPAs out on the back deck overlooking the black ocean. Palm fronds waved gently under the moon's glow. I headed inside for another round of drinks. Out the kitchen window, something caught my eye. I stepped closer to the glass, squinting. A figure stood about 20 feet out in the foamy surf, unmoving. "Yo, come check this out," I called. My friends joined me at the window, perplexed. We watched closely for 5 minutes, and the mysterious figure didn't budge an inch. A late-night swimmer, perhaps. Still, something felt off. We filed back outside, laughter a bit stilted from uneasy. Creaking sounded from wooden steps down to the sand. I whipped my head toward the noisy. Silhouetted by moonlight stood a lone man at the shoreline facing our deck, stock still and soundless. Hello?" John called out nervously. No reaction, as if the dead-eyed figure hadn't heard, or maybe just didn't care. We hurried inside, locking doors and windows. Had that been the same swimmer from earlier? Fear of the unknown lurked at the dark edges of my buzz. I couldn't logic away waves of irrational thoughts. I must have dozed off eventually. Somewhere in the early morning I was jolted awake by frantic knocking on glass, my bedroom window. I flung open the blinds, revealing nothing. just inky night pressing against the pane. Bursting into the hallway, I almost collided with John, looking equally frantic. "You heard it too?" We checked Travis and Liam's rooms. Both passed out. No signs of forced entry either. The four of us scoured the perimeter of the house, brandishing the nearest makeshift weapons our panicked minds could find: a broom umbrella and 2 curtain rods. No prowlers lingered anymore in the shadowy, windswept dunes surrounding our supposed island paradise. Exhausted, we stood sentry in the living room until fragile strands of light leaked into the eastern sky. We decided to cut our losses, not daring remain another night. As we pulled away down the lonely access road past other silent, shuttered beach houses, I glimpsed in the side mirror 2 dark forms standing on our back porch, watching us leave. We peeled out of there, blasting the radio for comfort. Had it just been a drifter harassing tourists, or something more sinister? I'll never forget that sharp dread when the knocking came at my window in the depths of night. Whoever it was, they seemed thrilled by the terror they stirred within us. Sometimes evil wears the mask of ordinary folk. I fear we may have invited true darkness inside without even realizing. Home Alone emergency. My blood turned to ice water when the phone rang. I was 9 years old, home alone for the first time, embroiled in an intense boss battle in Metroid Prime on my GameCube. I sat cross-legged on the carpet of my bedroom, the familiar glow of the TV and whir of the console providing cozy background noise. Expecting my mom to check in, I rushed downstairs to pick up the rattling kitchen phone. "Sweetie, can you come outside and help carry in the groceries from the car?" A woman's saccharine voice crooned. My mom never used pet names like Sweetie. She preferred my actual name, James. Something felt off. Before I could question further, the stranger on the line continued wheedling in a sing-song tone. "Come help me, Sweetie." My stomach dropped. I slammed down the phone, hands trembling. Almost instantly, the device trilled again and again, each time the caller ID spookily displaying my mum's number. Someone had gotten a hold of her phone. Against my better judgment, on the third call I hesitantly answered. The man's gruff voice on the other end sent a chill straight down my spine. "Hey, James, it's your dad. Come on outside now. I'll explain everything." He hung up abruptly as I stood frozen in confused dread. But my dad died in a car accident when I was just 3 years old. I have no memories of him, only a couple old faded Polaroids. Fingers fumbling, I managed to dial 911. The dispatcher instructed me to lock myself in our windowless first-floor bathroom until police arrived. It was the only truly secure room in the house. What happened next still strains believability when I look back. Over the next 15 agonizing minutes came a barrage I'll truly never forget. First, my mum's stolen phone would ring, then my dad's ghostly voice would bellow and cajole through the bolted front door, demanding I let them in. Next would come scraping at the bathroom window as they tested every entryway for a way inside to get at me, their terrified prey. At long last, the telltale red and blue lights flashed in our driveway, reflecting through the bathroom skylight. Only when I heard the solid thunk of police boots mounting the front steps did I finally unlock myself from that tiny porcelain prison cell, collapsing into the officer's arms, still shaking uncontrollably. In the aftermath, police concluded my mom's cell phone must have been brazenly swiped from the gym locker room that very morning. The imposters quickly took advantage by mining it for personal info and photos to convincingly impersonate my parents. But chilling questions remain lodged inside me years later like splinters I can't remove. How long had those creeps been stalking our family's daily movements and routines? Would they actually have tried to force their way inside and abduct me if I naively opened the front door? I'll never know just how narrowly I escaped a grim fate that sunny afternoon. These true horror stories still wake me screaming from restless dreams, inexplicable events seared into my memory. Their utter lack of reason taps into our primal terror of darkness encroaching without logic or notice. We blithely open doors unaware, inviting nightmares made flesh. Yet stories allow us to safely face the sinister mysteries lurking behind familiar faces, to glimpse the monsters in shadowed corners, made sharply aware when confronting the unknown's unmapped frontier. Still, Darkness crouches at the threshold, bidding entrance into our unwary minds. No locks or reason can keep it at bay when it finds unseen cracks in our perceived safety to slip through. We grasp for explanations when strange shapes glide through murky waters, survey us from the lonely gloom. But comprehending the inhuman may forever elude our frail sanity. So sleep well, my friend. 2 locks engage, comforting weapon at bedside table, and perchance my screams do reach you some haunted hour they serve to simply say, subscribe for more tales from the creepy island.